canale, scusa? Hello everybody, my name is Tiz and welcome to the test race for the TSRB DTM Championship. This is the preseason testing race. I'm your host Tiz. You might not know me from here, but I am a commentator in Downtown, the Downtown Racing server. And yeah, I am just here. I've been invited to commentate, and I hope to be a good host for you. Sorry for the small delay. I have a feeling that I can hear myself twice for some reason. I might be going crazy. I might be going slightly insane. So I'm trying to figure this out. No, I cannot hear me twice. That's good. Alright, so we are now watching Pirelli Punk driving his BMW, doing the second chicane at Zolder. Zolder, of course, the second most popular Belgian track. Some people would say it's the most popular, but I mean, Spa exists, so Zolder, a very decent track. Then we see Pirelli Punk going straight into the gravel. It's usually used for touring cars, as we can see today, the DTMs here. These are the 2020 DTM cars with DRS, and they just look very, very mean. And we are 1 minute off of what I think is directly a race. There shouldn't be any quality if I got it correctly. So let's go with Pirelli Punk for this lap of practice, the last lap of practice around the Zolder circuit. So here we are, the last second of practice. Practice is officially over. Now we are going to move to the next session. Let me go a bit points. Just so I don't, you know, randomly spawn on track. That would be very, very suboptimal. Random Alfa Romeo Giulia edit, I guess. Who's still driving it? It's Lotus, Tiamo, and Milan. Lotus and Milan currently having a fight on track, even though we are in practice overtime, so this is their last lap. They're currently on course to complete their practice. And practice is officially over. I hope the volumes are fine and I hope you can hear me well. Okay, I've checked. The volumes are a little bit funny, you could say. So let's see if now I managed to fix it, or if the game volume is still too high. Okay, one last adjustment to the volumes, and we are 10 seconds away to the 15 minutes of qualifying. 3, 2, and 1. Our drivers are going to start their qualifying session right now. Let's see who is going to be the first one to leave the pit lane. It is going to be... And I managed to click everyone but the correct guy. It's Pirelli Punk leading the pack out for qualifying. Of course, Zolder being a very small, it's a very narrow track. It's very technical. You have this left-hander in turn 1 followed by this triple right-hander, something very unique. Not many places have such a follow-up of three corners in the same direction, and all of them are very different and tricky in their own different way. You have a braking zone 4-2 that is actually harder than you might think at first glance. Then you have an almost flat-out turn 3, and then what you think is flat out as in turn 4, but you actually need to lift and even brake sometimes with some cars. Otherwise, you're going to eat the gravel on the outside. Then you have a long straight, and then you go into the braking for 5 and 6, which is the Villeneuve chicane. Then you go over a bridge to the second chicane of the track. Then you follow the drive-in section, and you get to this hairpin where Pirelli Punk just went. And after the hairpin, you get to the last chicane right here, one of the lowest points of the track, great overtaking zone. So let's see, Pirelli Punk about to start his first lap. Let's see as he takes the flag right now. The timer starts. So let's see how he does in this qualifying section. Right behind him, Lawler is starting a lap. Lotus is leaving the pit lane. Paltutiano, sorry, is also doing a lap. Block Builder leaving the pits. Actually, no, he's on the last chicane. Meyran Elling disconnected from the server. That is unfortunate. And let's see, Pirelli Punk actually now going to the end of the first sector of the racetrack. Let's see what his time will be. He's going to have a 30.940 as he approaches the Villeneuve chicane. So let's see what the drivers behind him, like Lawler or Paul Tutiano, I am not going to be able to say that. He goes purple, but then Viper takes his purple first sector. So that's something. Let's see, maybe Pirelli Punk. Let's see what time he gets in the second sector. He's going to get it right now. 57.553. Let's see Paul Tutuniao. I'm never going to be able to say it. And he's lower by 0.1 tenths of a second. And let's see Viper Sonics. goes purple in the third sector as well. Behind them, Lotus. Elling is actually leaving the pit. Something happened to Elling. Then there's Thomas, Lotus, and Block Builder, all bunched up at the second chicane. And Block Builder is into the gravel. So we see Pirelli Punk first lap time 129.4. Now Paul Tutuianu second time almost 1 second faster, 125.7. Let's go to Viper Sonics. That scores a 128.7. Something must have happened to the Polish driver. His time very suboptimal. And now it's gonna be interesting to see if Paul Tutuianu is gonna go for a second flying lap. It looked like it. We saw Pirelli Punk go straight into the gravel, but it looks like he is going for a follow-up. A 30.959, 0.09 slower than I think Viper Sonics. Viper Sonics takes the fastest time with a 30.0. Then there is Milan Gelling, but I think he's just leaving the pits. Let's stay with Paul Tutuianu. He gets a 57.1 in the second sector. Lower Viper Sonics is 2 seconds faster almost. That's incredible, 55.278. Around the hairpin, the Polish driver goes. And let's see how he's gonna do around the last tricky part of the track, the last chicane. Meanwhile, Block Builder starting his own first lap at 38.4, 4 seconds behind the Polish driver. Thomas is ready, doing a first flying lap with a 56.734. Let's see, Paul Tutuianu move still in P1. Viper Sonics is not able to take the position, probably due to track limits. Block Builder cuts the Villeneuve chicane. Lotus now at the last chicane. Also, we had Milan Elling starting his first actual flying lap. There are 9 minutes left in this qualifying. Lotus moves to P1. Thomas is ready, moves to P2. And, oh god. It's not Block Builder, it's not him. I think it's Pirelli Punk. Yes, Pirelli Punk is behind this group. And there are these three drivers, Lotus, Thomas, and Pirelli Punk, currently doing their their flying laps, one behind the other. Let's go on board with Lotus. And there's a mistake from Lotus going wide at the hairpin. Is he gonna give track? Yes, he's gonna give room for Thomas is ready to let him go and maybe steal a podium position. Meanwhile, Milan Elling just gets into P3 and Viper Sonics moves to pole position. Thomas is ready now, rounding up the final corner. Let's see how he does. And he stays in P4. Pirelli Punk doesn't improve his position. So right now the order, Viper Sonics, Lotus, then we have Milan Elling, Thomas is ready, Paul Tutuianu, Pirelli Punk, and Block Builder. Seven minutes and 30 seconds left in this qualifying session. Viper Sonics now around the last corner. Let's see, he has a purple middle sector. He gets a 1:24.0. He improves his pole time by 0.04 hundredths of a second. Then we have Milan Elling actually rounding up the last corner, but he is much slower than the Polish driver. Let's see, he gets a 131.229, 6 seconds behind the Polish driver. That is suboptimal. Thomas is ready now around the final corner. He gets a 126.007 and stays in P4. Lotus now leaving the pit lane backwards. Interesting tactic, I suppose. Paul Tutuianu not improving in the first sector, still with the yellow sector 1. Let's see if he can improve during the rest of the lap. Around the second chicane, you gotta be very aggressive on those curbs if you want to save time. The straighter you can take the chicane, the better, the more speed you can carry through this driven section, the more speed you get to the hairpin. You can even maybe try for an attack during the race. So he's 0.6 seconds slower than Vipersonics here with a 57. Around the hairpin, and he's going down to the chicane. So Vipersonics also going down to the start-finish line. I think it's who is it? Lotus? No, it was Block Builder. Vipersonics doesn't improve, so let's go back to Paul Tutuianu, and he gets a purple last sector with a 125.510, but I don't think it's a valid time because he doesn't actually look like he improved. Let's see, Lotus. Again, another mistake at the hairpin, looks like. Myron Illing at the start of his flying lap. Let's see what he gets in the first sector. Vipersonics actually currently coming from a championship winning run in the DRC, the Downtown Race from Silhouette Championship, which also I hosted and commentated. We have Myron Ling with a 30.177, a very good time indeed from the from the driver from the Netherlands. Let's see now the number 34, I guess. I have no clue because there's the 34, there's a 28 on the car. It's very confusing. He gets a 56.024 in the second sector. Let's see how he does to round up this lap currently. Block Builder still without a time in this qualifying session. 118 leaving the chicane. Someone is stopped at the exit of the chicane. That cannot be safe. And Mylan Elling gets a 124.329 and stays in third place, nearly 1 second behind Vipersonics. Vipersonics the only driver currently in the 123s, with the Lotus being the only one close to even getting to a sub 124. May he be able to do it now? Doesn't look like it. Probably had some trouble in the last sector again. 125.1 doesn't happen. Let's see now. Thomas is ready. Starting his lap. Paul Tutuianu in P5. Yellow first sector is not improving, but he does have the slipstream of the pole driver. Let's see. Maybe he gained the position. I'm not sure. Looks like it. 55. He does get a green second sector, but he's 1/10 behind his personal best. Vipersonic clearly in a league of his own. Remember, this is the pre-season testing round. This does not award any points. 129 leaving the last chicane. Vipersonics over the line does not improve. Paul Tutuianu does improve by 2/10. He is now currently 600s behind Thomas is ready in the battle for P4, and Myron Elling actually is able to go underneath the 124 threshold. He does get a 129.946, and that moves him up to P2 ahead of Lotus. Block Builder still having some trouble at the start of the lap. Pirelli Punk currently going to finish his first sector, but I think he just left the pits because I don't see a delta. Indeed. We have 8 kilometers an hour winds, apparently moving to the south-southwest. Let's see, Paul Tutuianu actually improving on his first sector. He does look like He's catching to Vipersonics, maybe with some good slipstream. 56.0 in the second sector. Brakes very hard for the hairpin. Still behind the Polish driver, still taking all that juicy slipstream. Almost loses it on the exit of the hairpin. So let's see now how he does. He's currently in 5th. Even with a 710s, 700s improvement, going underneath the 125 threshold, he should be able to get ahead of the Italian driver Thomas Reddy. Let's see now, taking all the slipstream from Vipersonics, a 124.5, that moves him into P4, only 0.4 of a second behind Lotus. So right now, with 1 minute and 27 seconds to spare, so barely a lap of racing, we have Vipersonics, Milan Elling in P2, Lotus in P3, Paul Totoiano in P4, Thomas Reddy in P5, Pirelli Punk in P6, Block Builder in P7, and that's kind of it. So Vipersonics currently should have this lap and maybe one more, because he did cross the line with more than 1 minute and 30 seconds to spare. He should have barely enough time to start a new lap. Him and also Paul Totoiano, but it does look like that he lost some time, maybe a spin. So we'll have to see that. Thomas has only this lap. He doesn't have another lap after this, but it looks like he's gonna pull over. He's not improving. Vipersonics actually gets a purple second sector, green first sector, purple second sector, but he does go wide, and that is not a valid time anymore. So now let's go. Milan Elling actually over with his qualifying, but he does move to P7. Something must have happened, because I do not see him. He apparently disconnected and he just rejoined. That is something that you do not want to see. Thomas is Reddy going very slowly. Hope he doesn't interfere with Lotus's lap time. So Vipersonics is into the pits. Paul Totoiano just starting his last lap of the session. Lotus won't be able to start a new lap, and so will be Pirelli Punk and Thomas Reddy, who just moved to the pit lane. Block Builder needs this lap time to work, although he is very slow, and Milan Elling sadly moves down to P7 due to connection issues. So let's actually check Paul Totoiano, which is the last driver currently in the session. Lotus is leaving the last chicane currently. Is he going to have an improvement over his time? I doubt it. He didn't have a great first sector. He goes for... I cannot see the improvement. That is wonderful. Then there's also Block Builder. Is he gonna get actually a lap time in? I guess we will never know. He's very slow through the last chicane. And last but not least, Paul Totoiano around the hairpin right now. I cannot see the delta anymore, very sadly indeed. So let's see, maybe via the leaderboard, if he is going to get an improvement. Paul Totoiano around the last chicane, around the last corner, puts down all the power, opens the DRS, goes over the finish line, and he does not improve. So the current starting positions are as this: Roller in P1, Vipersonics, then Lotus in P2, Paul Totoiano in P3, Thomas is Reddy in P4, Pirelli Punk in P5, Block Builder in P6, and Milan Elling in P7. Alright, so here we are, 4 seconds of wait before the race. Here we are. Let me go back to the pits. Why can I not go back to the pits? There is some wait. I am currently on the grid. The safety car is on the grid. This is not safe. Please, someone take me out of here. I should not be here. Please, someone move me out of here. I should not be here. Help me. Help me. Help me. I am currently suffering a lot. I mean, I like this Alpha. It looks good. I mean, look at it. It's wonderful. It's amazing. It's splendid, but it is not what I need. Something happened to the server, something bad is happening. There's gonna be a rolling start. I need to go back to the pits. It's not allowing me to do that. Please help me, God. I might need that. I can go back to the pits now, and we can finally go back to the other drivers. No overtaking. We are going to have a rolling start. Again, Vipersonics starting in P1. Let's go with our pole sitter right here, driving his yellow number 16 BMW. Then we have Paul Tutuiano in P2, actually beats Lotus for some reason with his number 51 Audi. Then we have Lotus driving the number 11 BMW. Then in fourth place it's Thomas is ready with the number 28 Audi. In P5 there is Pirelli Punk with his number 25 BMW. Block Builder in P6 again with the number 25 BMW. And Mylon Elling with the number 31 BMW all the way in 7th place. For some reason this camera goes back to me. Now I know. Here we are on the onboard with Mylon Elling. Around the second chicane now. Behind Block Builder, there is going to be a rolling start. They are losing a little bit of time to the guys in front. This is the onboard of our race leader, Vipersonics. We're currently scrolling the onboard cameras. There we go with the hood cam of the leader. They are approaching the last chicane. There we go to the action camera. Vipersonics leading the pack. Is going to go around the last corner. Let's see now. Rolling down to the start line. Everyone is revving their engines. 80 kilometers an hour RPM limit. Someone is very behind. It's the green flag and everybody is racing. So Vipersonics currently on the inside. Paul Tutuiano on the outside, maybe trying to make the move stick. Doesn't look like it. Is there some contact behind? Maybe. Doesn't look like it. Everything is fine. We are currently watching Vipersonics trying to defend his position from the Romanian driver that is trying to take, of course, the first position. Let's see, down the inside goes Paul Tutuiano. Actually, very bold move in this part of the track. They are still side by side. There they go around to the Villeneuve chicane. Lawler brakes really hard, but Paul Tutuiano is more brave on the brakes and actually takes the position from the Polish driver. They're going side by side to the second chicane. Who is going to come out on top of this battle? Meanwhile, Thomas Dredi moved all the way up to P3, and Vipersonics has to consider position. Maybe not, he cuts a little bit the chicane, but he's still side by side with the Romanian driver. Cuts back to the inside, tries for a switcheroo, but doesn't get the move. Now, so it's Paul Tutuiano, Vipersonics, Thomas is ready, Lotus. Move this. Why can't they move this out of the way? They don't want this. Can you move this? Why can I not? Okay, anyway. Paul Tutuiano to the inside after Lawler takes back P1. Nothing really happens. Actually, it does. Paul Tutuiano with the switchback. Let's see who is going to come out in first. Lawler with 2 seconds for DRS, apparently. Paul Tutuiano takes first place around the outside in turn 1. We got the helicopter camera with Vipersonics trying with a better exit to maybe go for a move into turn 4. He's basically bump drafting Paul Tutuiano. Doesn't go for the move in the end. And now Lotus is in P3. Thomas is ready all the way down in P6. Something must have happened. Maybe some contact with Lotus at the front. Mylon Elling in P5. Blockbuster in P7. Pirelli Punk in P4. Meanwhile, the battle for P3, P2 and P1 is still raging on. Let's see now. Paul Tutuiano trying to put some distance between himself and Vipersonics, with Lotus looking at this battle and trying to see if he can gain something from these two drivers fighting. Around the hairpin they go. Paul Tutuiano still covering very cleanly, I must say, the inside of the hairpin. Vipersonics takes all the slipstream, uses all the DRS, is not able to make the move. So we go around the last chicane. 5 minutes of racing are over as we start our lap number 5. Paul Tutuiano 2 seconds for DRS. Vipersonics, oh, kind of very weird braking, but it doesn't work because Paul Tutuiano actually goes too deep in the braking and goes wide in the corner. Vipersonics stays position. Actually, Lotus takes advantage of that and steals second place from Paul Tutuiano. Paul Tutuiano in 2 corners went from P1 to P3. So we are now watching Lotus following Lawler. Vipersonics is trying to run away, so right now Lotus has to watch from the driver in P4. There we go with the wing camera. Can barely see these wings are really big. These cars have huge aerodynamics. Ooh, 2 wheels on the grass for Lotus. That is surely suboptimal. Almost loses the car. It's very easy to spin out with these cars. A lot of power, rear wheel drive, DRS. So yeah, very easy to lose control. So we have Lawler, Lotus, Paul Tutuiano, Pirelli, Mailonelli. Thomas is ready, actually. The Italian driver trying to make up ground after he got already spun around. Doesn't look like he's getting anywhere. Mailonelli actually now on the back of Pirelli Punk. Let's see if he's going to be able to make a move in the next few laps. Let's go now to Lotus, actually trying to defend a move from Paul Tutuiano. Doesn't look like Paul Tutuiano was able to very much scare Lotus out of a racing line. So Lotus now 1 second off of Viper. Vipersonics is basically gone at this point, so yeah, you better start preparing yourself. You're gonna have to fight and settle for second. P1, it's gone. It's taken. I'm sorry. Can't do much about it. Vipersonics around the Villeneuve chicane. Ooh, a lot of jumping for Lotus. That is not truly helping his suspension. Now they are both putting quite a lot of gap on Paul Tutuiano. I don't think though Paul Tutuiano has used his DRS of the lap yet. Now Lotus 6/10 behind Vipersonics, taking all the slipstream, probably using also the DRS, gets very close on the braking, goes wide. I think he locked up the tires. That is not great for his tire temperatures, and it's not great because now Vipersonics has a little bit more breathing room. Blockbuster now around the 4th corner. We might be seeing some lappings before this race is over. Now Lotus trying to run behind Viper, and the gaps at the front are kind of frozen. 123.5 for Lotus in the race and 123.7 for Vipersonics. Now we have an actual fight here between Pirelli Punk and Mailonelli. Mailonelli, who actually overtook Pirelli Punk while we were distracted by the battle for P1. Of course, Mailonelli actually had the 2nd fastest time of the session and sadly got disconnected, so right now he's looking to make some ground up and maybe fix the problem that he had. Blockbuster going really slowly around the hairpin. I'm pretty sure we are going to see him getting lapped during the race. Thomas is already getting ready. Yes, he's getting close to Pirelli Punk, so we might see a 3-way fight if Mailonelli doesn't run away that much. Now Paul Tutuiano in the land of nobody, no one around him. I guess he has clean air to push, so that's good for him. Lotus trying still to catch Vipersonics, but he makes some mistakes, goes too wide, and all of a sudden Vipersonics is completely gone, out of his radar. Nothing he can do anymore. Viper is gone, dusted, nowhere to be seen again. So right now he has to defend from the Romanian driver, who is also getting attacked by the Dutch driver. Thomas is ready, actually going maybe for a move on Pirelli Punk around turn 1. Does he have the DRS? Doesn't look like it. He's not going for the move here. Maybe hoping for a better exit. Almost makes contact. Goes really, really wide. Hard braking for turn 2. Makes Pirelli Punk brake harder. Maybe wanting to look for a switchback. Doesn't get it. But I'm pretty sure he has more speed. Let's go maybe to the helicopter camera. Is he gonna go for a move down the inside of turn 4? Yes, he does. Side by side. Pirelli Punk almost into the gravel. Side by side now. Going down to the Villeneuve chicane. Who is gonna be braver on the brakes? Let's see here. And Thomas is already getting the position very easily. Very hard on the brakes. So Myron Elling now trying to catch Paul Toyano and Lotus. Meanwhile, Vipersonics is at the hairpin and Blockbuster is at the last chicane. So only one straight separating these two drivers. Truly suboptimal, I might say, because lapping somebody loses you quite a lot of time, and that could mean Vipersonics getting caught back up by the drivers behind them. So we have Vipersonics in P1 trying to run away with, I guess it's like a 3-second lead over Lotus. In P2, Vipersonics 1:23.2, fastest lap of the entire day. I mean, what more can you say? He's just on another level. Then Lotus in P2 trying to defend from Paul Totoiano, who is now 1.1 seconds behind him. Mylon Elling trying to make up all the places, maybe hoping to get that P2 with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left. Thomas is ready, running away from Pirelli Punk in P6, and then Block Builder P7, very much behind. Let's see, can we actually see Pirelli Punk if we go on board with Vipersonics? Let's see. There he is. He actually sees the driver in P7. He's surely gonna be worried for this lapping action he has to take. Nobody behind him, only the lap guy in front of him. So let's go on Block Builder. Let's get this rear wing camera and let's just wait for the greatness of Vipersonics, I guess. Goes, ooh, Blockbuster going wide at the first chicane, and Vipersonic just absolutely roars past him. Yeah, makes sense. Blue flags, but I was not expecting a move by the end of that lap. Truly tells you how fast Vipersonics is. Lotus, actually, Paul Totoiano is gained a little bit on Lotus since last lap, around 3/10. He's now 0.8 behind the Dutch driver. Of course, Lotus going around the lapped car. Paul Totoiano also overtaking Block Builder, and Myron Elling is also getting into this fight. Overtakes the lap guy on the exit of the chicane. Very brave spot to go for a lapping, but I guess he's happy with it. Myron Elling now 1.5 seconds behind Paul Totoiano, and Paul Totoiano 7/10 behind Lotus. Lotus not really having a good time with this hairpin in this race. Oh, slides on exit, and now Paul Totoiano is even closer than before. 6/10 separating the two drivers, with Myron Elling getting that little bit closer every lap, every turn. So they are probably very much stressed. Now losing some time, Myron Elling, something must have happened, maybe brake too hard at the entrance of the chicane. Paul Totoiano now 3/10 behind Lotus. He's surely gaining. Let's see now who will have more pace to stay ahead and get second place in this race. Vipersonics now 4.3 seconds ahead of the competition, dictating the pace, managing the tires. I mean, what more can you say? He's there, he's winning. Usual Vipersonics behavior. Right now, Paul Totoiano, 7/10 behind Lotus. The gap doesn't really change that much. Lotus with a great Villeneuve chicane, actually, gaining a lot on Paul Totoiano on exit. So, Paul Totoiano, all the progress must be remade. He didn't save before closing the console, and now he lost all his save files. Now he's 1.6 seconds behind. So truly sad things to see. He's now closer to Maranelli than he is to Lotus. So maybe instead of watching him, we should start watching Maranelli, because he is looking like the next. This is looking like the next fight we might have on track. I see that I can't move the cat warning, sadly, but I guess they'll stay here. Let's say hello to the Alfa Romeo in the box, surely driven by a very handsome man. No. So half a second between Milo Nelling and Paul Tutuianu. Let's see now. Around turn 3, they look kinda even on pace. Turn 4 might be a deal breaker if Milo Nelling has a better exit, which he does. He might be able to go for a move down at the Villeneuve chicane, 3/10. But it's very, might have been very brave to go for a move here, but he's still very close, and going for a move at the next chicane is not as brave. But I think that Paul Tutuianu is using his DRS to keep the distance between himself and the other Dutch driver. Paul Tutuianu currently in the middle of a Dutch sandwich, which doesn't sound that good. But hey, what can you do? Lotus now with a 1:23.5 as his fastest lap of the session, so surely he's picking up the pace. He's trying to run away to confirm and set into stone his second place finish. Thomas is ready in all of this. He's actually gaining on the two drivers ahead of them. With a 1:24.0 as his best lap, he's currently the fourth fastest car on track. And Lotus now gets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:23.1. Lotus telling Viper, don't really sit on your ass that much, because I am coming. If you will wait for me, I will arrive at you. And he is gaining. But still, we'll stay here for the fight for P3 between Milo Nelling and Paul Tutuianu. The two closest cars on track right now. And... sorry. Maybe, are we going to see a move before the end of the race? Oh, there's some contact at the hairpin. I don't know if Paul Tutuianu just braked way too early, or if Milo Nelling just decided that he was tired to see the Romanian flag ahead of him. I don't know. But yeah, contact, and we might be looking at a penalty right here, because that was kind of harsh. Paul Tutuianu now behind Pirelli Punk. And Thomas is ready. He's actually maybe looking to go for a move for P3. Around the outside of the hairpin, the Italian driver versus the Dutch driver. There is some contact. Italy versus Holland. Not such good blood run between these two. And Thomas is ready. Actually moves ahead, maybe using that DRS that he saved up during the lap. Milo Nelling now, everything to do all over again. They are now almost 8 seconds behind Lotus, and we are starting the penultimate lap right now with Viper Sonics still in first, still chilling. Only 2.7 seconds ahead of Lotus, who has just decided to who just became God for some reason, and he's now absolutely flying down the track. Then Thomas is ready. Miraculous recovery after what happened in the beginning, but he goes onto the gravel, and now he's getting attacked again by Milo Nelling. They are going down to the Villeneuve chicane. Who is going to come out on top? Milo Nelling takes the position, but he makes a mistake on the chicane. Thomas goes for a very brave move. They make contact, and Thomas is into the gravel. So, that P3 gone. Dusted. Into the gravel with the car, with the whole race, with the whole weekend. He's a failure. And he should stop racing. No, I'm joking. He's a good driver. But he does tend to make silly mistakes at times. So he should really work on his racecraft. Heartbreaking with Milo Nelling almost losing the car on exit, and that really hurts him, because now Thomas, using the better traction, is going to try for an overtake before the last chicane. And he takes the position even before the braking zone. That is truly amazing. Now Viper Sonic starting the last lap, followed by Lotus, only 2 seconds behind, but doesn't look like Lotus has the time to really catch up to the Polish driver. We stay here for the battle of P3. with Mylon Elling still only 6/10 of a second behind the Italian driver Thomas is ready. Now Pirelli Punk ahead of Pau Tutuianu, who I'm not sure he will be able to make the move before the end of the race for P5. Let's say now with Mylon Elling, let's maybe go on board with the Dutch driver to see if he can do something to catch back to Thomas is ready. Over the crest after the Villeneuve chicane into this left-hander, braking hard for the second chicane. 1, 2, and 3. A little bit of track limits right there. Mylon Elling doesn't look like he has what it takes to make the move. Pau Tutuianu now very close to Pirelli Punk. Is he maybe going to go for a move down at the hairpin? Meanwhile, Vipersonics, congratulations, wins the race with Lotus in second. Pirelli Punk is going to defend the move from Pau Tutuianu, who doesn't actually make the move at the end, and no desperate attempts. There is no gap between Thomas and Mylon Elling, contact between the two actually. Let's see now, Thomas is ready, actually comes out on top at the last chicane. I was not expecting a move. I thought that he had the gap to stay ahead. Doesn't look like it. Pirelli Punk now still ahead of Pau Tutuianu. There must have been some contact. And so we have Lawler, Lotus, Thomas, Mylon Elling, Pirelli Punk, Pau Tutuianu, and Block Builder in P6, currently going to the finish line. This was the race. Not sure if we're gonna have a race 2. Quite not sure of that. Yeah, there should be a second race in all of this. Interesting. So, yeah. Thomas is still on track for some reason. Brother, you need to go to the pits. The race is over. Please. I beg you. Go to the pit lane. Please. Brother. Blockbuilder finally finishing his lap. And the race is officially over. With Vipersonics in P1. Going for the victory lap, I guess. But he shouldn't celebrate too early because there is still race number 2. We're just waiting for everybody to get back to the pits. There we see Vipersonics. And I don't know what Block Builder is doing. He's going very carefully around turn 4, but the race is over. So, what? Truly memorable times. Incredible scenes. Absolutely outstanding performance. A lot of lag I see. Is it on my part? Could it be that I am the one who lags? I don't know. Block Builder stops on track, finally goes back to the pits, and maybe, just maybe, we might be looking at the next session of racing. As I take a small break, and I will be right back with you after this. Here we are now with the second race session. I am here too, I guess. I am on the track. Hello. I am a safety car on the track. I am a health hazard actually on the track. I am starting last because the game clearly hates me and has something against me. Um, but yes. So that's gonna be funny. Seconds before the race starts. Actually, the start of the warm-up lap. Because we are going to have a second rolling start and there is fully inverted grid. So, of course, we saw Milan Elling retiring from last race. After the finish, he left the server. So right now, Block Builder is the one currently sitting in pole position with Pirelli Punk in P2, Poto Tuiano in P3, Thomas is ready in P4, Lotus in P5, and Vipersonics in P6. Vipersonics currently hits me, and I am also racing. I'm having the time of my life. I am racing. I'm driving. Incredible. Biblical scenes. Something truly majestic. I am on track with the stars of today. Takes all the outside curb. That's incredible. I am following the race winner. Wow. So this is truly something. Let's see if they notice. Doesn't look like they care that much. But this is the closest we can get to these drivers in their natural habitat. Isn't it amazing? I feel like Bernd Mailander when he actually does his job. Once every like billion Grand Prix now, because nothing ever happens in Formula 1 anymore. But this is truly interesting, truly fantastic. I can't even see what gear I'm in. I can't even see how fast I'm going. But I'm just so happy to be on track with the legends of today and the stars of tomorrow. Ah! And I crash into Vipersonics. Incredible scenes. That is truly something. Crazy fighting up here. Crazy 3-wide action. And this is the formation lap. Please don't crash into each other. I beg you. I will soon be going back to the pit lane, I promise. I'm just having the time of my life right now. Vipersonics tries to kill me with the brake checking. I'm currently doing the medical car, following the pack to see if everything is working correctly. There's a speed limiter. So I'm gonna pull over right now. And I will return to the pits to actually spectate the stars of this race with Block Builder, who got lapped last race, starting in pole position. This is gonna be truly interesting. He goes wide, crashes into Paul Tuiano, and we are going to... There we go, red lights, everybody's revving their engines. Paul Tuiano on the inside for turn 1, sorry, the outside, Blockbuster on the inside, the green flag waves now, and I don't see them. There they go. Blockbuster leaving the door open for basically everybody. Outside, inside, he basically got demolished by everyone and he's last into turn 1. Truly something. Paul Tuiano now running away with the lead with Pirelli Punk in P2, still trying to defend the position from Thomas is ready, who jumped Lotus on the start. Now Lotus surely wants to run away from Lawler, because if he wants to win this race, he will need all the lead he can get on the Polish driver. Now everybody still all following each other, doing the train formation. We are behind the Pirelli Punk DRS train. That is truly something, truly amazing. Lotus on the overtake on Thomas, and Thomas didn't really expect it. He just let the guy past. So now Lotus, one position between him, he put one car between himself and Vipersonics, and that could really help him to win this race. There goes Thomas on trying to re-overtake Lotus, blocks up the tires. Lotus almost loses the car on under braking. Are we going to see 3-wide action here at Zolder with Vipersonics maybe going for a move? Doesn't look like it, but Thomas goes wide, Lotus goes wide, and in all of this, Vipersonics just passed both of them. If you're gonna fight this much for the position, then I'm just gonna take it from under your nose. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Vipersonics. What more can you say? What more can you say? He's a living legend. He is truly something magical, something spectacular. So, yeah, that's something. Paul Totoiano now trying to run away with the pole position he has. Pirelli Punk trying to starting to stay with them, but Paul Totoiano did have more pace in the race. In race 1, Lawler in P3 is surely going to try and take the first position even before the halfway mark of the race. Thomas going for the move under braking on Lotus, goes wide, cuts the chicane, and Lotus takes back the position. Yeah, not a great day for Thomas. Not a great day. So now Paul Totoiano in P1, Pirelli Punk in P2, Lawler in P3, Lotus P4, and Thomas P5. No one is really close to want someone else in this race. Block Builder is all the way back here at the last part of the second chicane. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. Now trying to still keep the gap between himself and Pirelli Punk, to keep it constant, to avoid getting overtaken. There they go, on to the start-finish line. And Paul Totoiano with the fastest lap of the race, now getting taken by Vipersonics with a 1:24.4. We are currently on lap 3 of this race. Something happened to Thomas is ready because he is nowhere to be seen. Must have been the wind. As always, must have been the wind. So now, Lotus following Vipersonics, trying to get the position that he so desperately wanted last race, but meanwhile they're losing time to the drivers in front who are trying to run away from them. They know they don't have the pace, so as much terrain as they can put for themselves to these two very fast drivers, the better for them. Lotus is not gonna go for the move down here, it would have been way too brave. Let's see now, taking all the slipstream he can, and maybe using the DRS, going down to the hairpin. Ooh, something happening at the front. Pirelli Punk almost crashes into Paul Totoiano, and now Vipersonics is onto him. So we have a three-way fight for P2, with Paul Totoiano saying, "Thank you very much, I'm gonna run away with it." You see, we're getting ran over by some of the cars. Let's go maybe with Lotus. Now Lotus very close to Vipersonics, trying to force the overtake into turn 1. There we go, third person. Vipersonics, is he gonna go for the switchback? He does. He's gonna be on the outside for the second corner. Brakes very early, lets Lotus roll out, but is not able to switch back and take the position. So Lotus overtakes Vipersonics and moves up into P3. But you know, Vipersonics doesn't really give up that easily. So again, Paul Totoiano running away from Pirelli Punk, who's been followed closely by Lotus, who just rear-ends him and sends him driving into the Shadow Realm. And now Vipersonics is probably going to overtake them both. So congratulations, Lotus. That was truly something on the entrance of the chicane. And they all shat themselves. Truly a work of art. The finest drivers in the world. So yeah, Pirelli Punk probably overbraked himself, tapped into Lawler, who was on the outside. And now it's Paul Totoiano running away from Lotus, and no one really behind them. Now Thomas is ready, back into P4. He's actually in range to maybe go for a move on Vipersonics. Truly biblical scenes, if you ask me. Is he actually going to go for the move down here? Probably not, because he's too far behind. Go on board with Vipersonics. And I mean, we know that Viper has more pace than Thomas, so it's really gonna be more of a matter of, is he going to be able to catch P1? And maybe is Thomas gonna be able to follow him closely? Because if he can, he might be getting into a fight for the first two places as well. Now Lotus still trying to catch up Paul Totoiano. On to the Villeneuve chicane. They are very close right now. We might be getting an overtake attempt here at the second chicane. Lotus decides to sit back and analyze the situation a little bit more. Wise choice. But he is very close. He might be going for a move down here at the hairpin. With 10 minutes to spare, half race is already gone, and dusted. Is Lotus gonna go for the move? Almost contact between the two. Has to lock up in order to avoid contact with Paul Tutoianu. That was very aggressive defending under braking, but hey, he's racing. There's no sanctioning body. No, there is, but I'm joking. But yeah, so let's see what they do. Now Thomas still behind Vipersonics, not close enough to go for an overtake. Lotus still within striking range of Paul Tutoianu. Thomas already now takes the fastest lap from Vipersonics, both of them just breaking the 124 barrier right now in the race. Lotus with a very brave outside move out of turn 2. I was not expecting that. Let's see now, is he going to be able to overtake completely? Yes, he does. And Lotus is into P1. Truly amazing scenes. Paul Tutoianu, contact under braking between the two. Paul Tutoianu not too happy with losing that position, but you can't just run the other drivers out of the track, mate. You can't. That's the rules. So Lotus now leading Paul Tutoianu, Lawler in P3. Thomas is ready in P4. Is he actually? Yes, he is. Just lost a lot of time. Purely Punk in P5 and Block Builder in P6 in turn 2. He's chilling. He's having fun. Let's see now Lotus. 1 second clear of Paul Tutoianu. Paul Tutoianu 3 seconds ahead of Lawler, 4 seconds ahead of Lawler. Vipersonics 2, almost 3 seconds ahead of Thomas is ready. No real fight is currently happening on track, so we might as well just go on board with Vipersonics to see what he can do. Apart from the fastest lap, of course. Yeah, he just got the fastest lap. I mean, Vipersonics. What more can you say? And as we've just seen, Lotus takes the fastest lap from Vipersonics with a 1:22.3. Vipersonics into the gravel, into turn 1, and he's into the wall. Biblical scenes right here, and Thomas is ready, just passes him by. Vipersonics retires from the race. That is truly something that ever happened. I was not expecting that. So now we have Lotus, Paul Tutoianu, Thomas in P3, 8 seconds behind them, and Pirelli Punk 4 seconds behind. Blockbuster is almost, he's about to get lapped, and yeah, that's about the situation of the race. But truly shocking scenes here at Zolder. Incredible, biblical, truly unexpected. So yeah, and Block Builder is into the gravel. So now Lotus is only one straight and a chicane behind him. Is he gonna get lapped again? Yes. The answer is yes, but how soon is he gonna get lapped? Let's see now. As Blockbuster is into turn 1 and Lotus just left the last corner. There's one straight between them. With Paul Tutoianu, who, besides everything, despite all, is still 1.2 seconds behind the driver in P1. Not that far off. Yeah, there's not much I can commentate here. We have 5 cars on track. Closest gap is 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see when Lotus laps Block Builder. Might be soon, because Block Builder, I can hear his car. He is right here. Maybe get a wing. There we go. There he is. There's Lotus. Half straight behind. I'm pretty sure that Block Builder is getting faster on the track. It took Lotus 5 minutes more than Viper to lap him. But let's see. Maybe, no, not here, surely. Maybe a move down into turn 1. Block Builder actually manages to stay in the track limits for the last chicane. And there goes Lotus on the exit of the last chicane. There they go, side by side. Blockbuster almost takes out the race leader. That would have been something. Yes. Truly. Sensational scenes. Lotus is running away. Potutuyanu is 3 seconds behind. Thomas P3, Pirelli Punk P4, and Block Builder is here, about to get lapped by Thomas. Weber's in the pits, and that's it. 4 minutes of this. Sensational. Almost 1 lap of silence. Absolutely nothing happened. Well, something happened. Lotus got a 122.9. That's crazy. Sub 23. Holy wow. Wow, holy. Yes. Three minutes of racing left. 3 laps. That's kind of it. Really. So, how are you guys doing? Actually, we may get Pirelli Punk lapping Block Builder. So, incredible. 2 cars close to each other on track. Biblical scenes. Huge lockout by Pirelli Punk. And they are 4 apart now. There he goes around the outside. And takes the position of the Swiss driver. Yes, both drivers lock up. Truly something. Lotus is into the penultimate lap now. Potutuyanu doing his race. Unless he does anything stupid, he's gonna finish P2. And Thomas, solid P3. No real risk of losing the position, so that's wonderful. Absolutely wild. We know the podium 2 laps before it's gonna 2 laps before the race finish. Wow. Wow. That's fantastic. Wow. Hoopa. as we start the last lap with Lotus. Positiano lost quite a little bit of time, and that was a huge lag spike that I have no idea if it's a problem that I had or if it's a problem of the server. Truly wonderful stuff. Finally, Assetto Corsa decides to acknowledge that the leader is on the final lap. And yeah, Lotus just got the position, scrambled a little bit of X, crashed into a little bit of people, but in the end he got P1 and he's going with it. So what more can you say? Great race from the guy. Around the hairpin, there he goes now. Hairpin giving him some problems in qualifying at the first race. He almost spins out right there. Going down to the last chicane, brakes really hard. Goes around the last corner, and Lotus will win the second race here at Zolder. GG's. Now we go to P2. Paul Totoiano. This race was hoping for a P1, didn't get it. Still great result. Thomas is ready. In P3. Great job by the Italian driver to keep it out of the wall, except here at the end. Pirelli Punk ends in 4th, and Block Builder going towards the last chicane is gonna finish in P5. So that's wonderful. Great race. Hope everything worked. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, sorry, I guess. And I am going to go back to my university stuff. But I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to see you on the first round of the championship. Truly wonderful scenes. Alright then. I guess this is it. GG's to all the drivers. Thanks for watching. Ciao Tommaso. Dimmi tutto. Okay. The stream is over. Bye bye. Good night. Go to sleep now.